the strategy on TikTok shouldn't be like, how can we go into it and just be super profitable? It's a platform right now where you can get an insane amount of reach. And so I think going into it with this, like, hey, how can we break even here, knowing that we're going to make a ton back on our other channels and we're just going to grow our brand awareness in the long term.
It's like a Super Bowl commercial, but better.
Rox, what's going on? I'm looking forward to talking all things TikTok shop with you today.
I'm looking forward to Mike, but I feel like I'm at a deficit because my background does not look as amazing as yours.
Ooh, for everyone who's not watching on video, this is a little push to get you to come over to YouTube and see the visuals here. I do have the background, and yes, it's not one of those fake Zoom backgrounds.
It's the real deal, huh?
It is. So, Rox, for everyone who does not know who you are, I'm going to do a little intro. So, Rox is an absolute killer on TikTok Shop, specifically TikTok Shop Live. I think she's done somewhere in the ballpark of like 500,000 in GMV generated, and it's pretty much all through live. She is one of the coaches for our agency, just teaching all of our creators all things about TikTok Shop Live. And yeah, I'm super excited to talk today.
I'm excited to be here, so thank you for having me, and we're gonna have a good discussion for sure.
Yeah, so the first thing I got on just kind of list of things to talk through is something that I'm seeing on TikTok right now, and it's these massive giveaways. I think brands are starting to really lean into these. We saw Goalie, I believe, was the first one that the first one that really caught a ton of popularity. We did a few back in March, April, May. With some brands like Skin Body. We did some of our own as well. But Goalies really took off. And now I'm seeing Nello, another huge brand on TikTok. I'm talking with their founders this week as well. We're seeing a lot of brands launching these massive giveaways. And I just want to talk about that, whether you think that's it seems like that strategy is working right now. I wonder, how long that's going to last. If that's something that all brands are going to start to pile on, creators are going to see it as necessary. What do you think?
I think it's something that will work in the short term. After a while, I think it'll just get kind of oversaturated. But right now, especially for brands that maybe their products tend to lend themselves to potentially having more violations, it's like more risk, more reward. And so people are really excited to try that because it's worth it to them, to that risk. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I think you're right too in terms of like the short term versus long term. Like right now, it just seems like a way to differentiate yourself. But I do think in the next couple of months, we're going to see more and more brands just run the same playbook. And then it becomes one of those things where it's like, okay, well, everyone's doing it. Like it's not that special. There are a couple things though that I think Nello in particular did really well with theirs. Like one thing that I liked is how low the threshold was for some of those prizes, right? Like often, like we've seen it before where it's like, oh, if you make $1 million in GMV, then like we'll fly you to Mars, right? It's like unattainable stuff. But I think Nello's first prize was like 3,000 GMV and you get an iPhone. And that's like super achievable, right? Like we see that happening with not every creator, but I mean, a lot of people are hitting those numbers pretty easily.
Yeah, I think one of the keys to making it successful is exactly what you said. The at least the first or maybe the second, third tier needs to be something that people feel like that carrot is something that I could achieve. Because if it's too hard, then they're just going to give up along the way.
Yeah, or not even start. I forget where I heard this, but it was when we were setting up our email newsletter like referral system, and it's like refer one person and like you win this, refer 10 people and you win this, and something that I heard, I forget where, but it was like you always want to make the first prize one email referral because you want it to be so easy for someone to start. And I feel like that's the same thing here where it's like if the prize is just like, oh, once you hit 100K GMV, then like here's what you win. Where people look at it and they're like, I'm not making 100K GMV. But if they see a prize that's like, 1,000 GMV, they'll at least get started. And once they hit that, now they're looking at the bigger picture. So yeah, I really like what they did with making that first prize like a pretty low barrier, and then also still like it wasn't like, hey, get one of our products for free. It's like you win an iPhone.
Yeah, exactly. So you get some type of something that you're going to want that's kind of universal. Not you get more of our own product because that's not going to do it.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder though. What something I haven't been seeing, which I think is interesting, is that the people who are winning the big prizes, I don't see them blowing up social media about that. And I feel like that's something that's missing that could really help people aspire to it.
I completely agree. I haven't seen a single person that won one of these prizes kind of like, sharing about it or flexing about it or whatnot. There's definitely some type of missed opportunity with that, right? Kind of like the was it Tarte that did the brand influencer trip?
Yes.
I know there was a bunch, but like I
Yes.
feel like there's a moment that's being missed, right? Something like that where it's like every one of our creators that hits 100K GMV, we're gonna fly you out to our island, right? And then you make a moment out of the prize as well. That was kind of something that we've aspired to do at Brands Meet Creators, right? With our last event, we had a handful of people that were there, and they actually came for free because they won, and that's something that we're looking to continue to do. So that's a really good point, right? Instead of just like, hey, here's the prize, go take it. The brands can deliver some type of prize where they still get the media of that prize. It's like, oh, you won the goalie thing, and now it's like it's a whole like commercial and everything. It's a whole social media moment out of that. It's a good point.
I also think that they could do, I mean, I guess maybe you wouldn't require it from the creators, but you could encourage them to also share that on their, like that they've won it, even if it's not a trip. Maybe it's winning like an iPhone. And I also think that it would do a lot to even make a point of announcing their winners on their page.
Yeah.
It makes it more relatable and approachable, because I think like that's the thing that's missing that's going to cause a lot of these kind of to fall flat.
Yeah. And that's something that we tried to do as well. I know with the prize we did with Skin Body, it was any creator that hits 100 GMV, they got a 7-day trip to the Caribbean. And since we have the newsletter, we have the audience, we were sharing when there's winners, but I think a lot of the brands, especially the smaller ones, they don't really have that platform to share. And if they do, I don't know, maybe it's just not like in alignment with like they're normally sharing like makeup content, and then all of a sudden surprise winner. Maybe that's how they feel. But you're right. It feels like a missed opportunity with like the back end of these prizes.
Mm-hmm. And that would cause more people to want to be creators for them in the
Yep.
future.
I think too, how brands need to start looking at these, because I've spoke with a couple brands and they're just like, look, we don't have the margin to do this. Like, there's no way we could run something like this. I'm interested. I'm going to talk to the Nello founders this week, and I want to get their opinion. But how I think that brands should be thinking about this is like, we want to run at like a break even at best on this, because what you'll see, right? If you go to Google Trends and you type in goalie, or you go to Google Trends and you type in Nello, the search volume is just off the chart. So like, I think it's okay for them to just operate at like a break even during these on TikTok, and they're just growing their brand, right? So the in-store purchases are going to go up. Amazon, the halo onto Amazon is probably insane. The halo onto their website, probably insane as well. After the rewards and everything's over, they're still gonna have that brand presence and brand awareness. So that's why I think brands need to start looking at this, is like, it's okay to break even, or maybe even a small loss. I don't have the data into like how big that halo is, but that's something that I'm super curious about.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. So it's like a marketing line, not a did we make back our money on this, but this is our marketing budget for this. The brand recognition is going to be off the charts, and also it's going to be exponential after the fact, like you said. And I think that would make a huge difference.
Completely
The challenge
agree.
is not having to answer to whomever in the office that wants to know, did we make money on this, right?
Yeah, which it seems like for a lot of brands that shouldn't be the strategy. Like, the strategy on TikTok shouldn't be like, how can we go into it and just be super profitable? It's a platform right now where you can get an insane amount of reach. And so I think going into it with this, like, hey, how can we break even here, knowing that we're going to make a ton back on our other channels, and we're just going to grow our brand awareness in the long term.
It's like a Super Bowl commercial, but better.
I like that. I got another topic for you, Rox, and this one's kind of right up your alley. But how do you think brands should be thinking about videos versus live on TikTok? Like, we know TikTok wants to push live. We know that's where the app's going. Like, TikTok has told us, I've been to the TikTok headquarters. Every person that I talk to that's been to the TikTok headquarters, they tell them the same thing. We're seeing it in our data. Like, when we first started the TikTok agency, I think 3% of all of our sales were live. Now it's like 15. I bet it's going to be 25 by the end of the year. How do you think brands should start to think about video versus live? Is there like, are there certain brands that are better for live? I'm just curious to get your thoughts around like the dynamic between the two.
Yeah, that's a loaded question because I think to myself, if I were a brand, it would be hard for me to wrap my brain around. I'm going to spend time and invest in people spending a few hours with my product as opposed to the fact that a video lives on and on and on and on and on. But I think that, I mean, obviously I love the fact that it's moving towards live because that's my happy place. A couple things. I think live for a brand, a couple things. It's that instantaneous money, right? So it's going to happen in the moment. But it also gives the brand a chance for their product to really come to life. A lot of times when people watch videos, there's questions that they have. They're not clear on it. They're hoping they're going to see another video maybe tomorrow or the next time they come on to TikTok. But when you're live, you can ask the questions that you have, you can get clarification, and it's almost like it comes to life in a different way. And that's something that I think really speeds up the brand recognition. Also, the trust with the brand increases a lot from a live. That's what brands should see it as and really lean into it. Now, are there some products that are better for live and aren't? Yes, I think that there are, but I also think it depends on the creator, because right now it's the wild, wild west. So I could pick up these JLab headphones and just start selling them, right? I think the brand has a very unique opportunity to really take some time and twins.
we both got these J Labs. They're one of the clients that we're working with. They gifted all of us at the event. That's so fun.
Yes, love them. So I think they have an opportunity to really figure out their brand story and how they want it to be articulated, and then lean into creators that can do that of all different kinds, but they can reach different people. So I think it's a great opportunity. It's just a matter of, it's a whole different strategy. And they've got to think about it differently than getting creators to create videos.
Yeah, and I think all brands should be looking at both, or at least testing both, because I think they work together as well. It's not like all or nothing, one or the other. Some brands definitely do live better than others, but TikTok creates this like retargeting ecosystem, right? Like people come from the Facebook, the Meta world where, you know, they think about retargeting ads, and like TikTok basically has that built in, where if I see 2 videos with these, you know, JLabs headphones, now I'm way more likely to see a third video or to see a live, right? So now I've seen these a bunch of times, but I want to know, like, hey, does this actually give you headaches? And in a live, I can go in and I can ask someone that, and like their job is to be answering those questions and like getting people over the edge. So I think brands should be looking at doing both and testing both. And on your end, when you are going live with products, and like you've seen other creators do this too, I think it's something that you want to be consistent, right? You kind of want to pick the certain products that you like to go with a bunch. It's not like videos where you can kind of just make a bunch of everything. Lives seem to be like, okay, I have a schedule. I go live with this thing every day, and it takes some time for me to get some traction. I would love for you to just like elaborate on that process.
Sure. And I absolutely, what you're saying is right on when it comes to, and I think it's counterintuitive because creators are so used to making different videos about everything. But really, if you want to see longevity and you want to see growth in sales, GMV, it's a matter of taking a product and going, okay, I'm going to go live. Great example. Funny that we go back here, but I actually last week decided to pivot, and I'm focusing on JLab headphones. That's what I've been selling for the last 4 days live. And I know going into it, TikTok doesn't know I'm going to talk about headphones. I haven't talked about the headphones live. And so I know I have to train not only the algorithm, but I need to make it so TikTok trusts me that, okay, people who are interested in JLab headphones, when they search for it, they're going to see the headphone picture, but it'll say live. And when they tap, it's going to go straight to my room. I have to build that trust with TikTok for that to happen. So going consistently makes a difference. Also, I have to build that trust with my audience who comes to see me regularly, because now I'm talking about a new product. And so it really does lend itself to, like, I tell people, please, like, do it over and over again. Give yourself 30 minutes if you can't do more, an hour and a half, but do the same product, even if you're not seeing the sales, because I guarantee, and I can tell you right now, since what is today? We're recording on what day is today? I don't even know what day is today. A Tuesday.
Tuesday
let's
the
say,
10th.
okay.
Yep.
Thank you, the 10th. So I started on Friday going live with these. I can tell you right now, it took me more time on Friday to make as many sales as opposed to yesterday. I was on for like less than an hour and I made 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sales. So that's because now the algorithm trusts me and is like, okay, we're going to send more people to you. So it's a long game, and we have to remember that in a big way when we're doing it.
And that makes so much sense from TikTok and the algorithm standpoint. It's like, okay, I have a random user who's scrolling and they've seen JLabs, 10 times, and our job is to try to convert this person. Well, I want to know that the live that I'm about to send them to, they have a proven track record of converting for this exact product. And so that's something that TikTok brought up to me when I was at the headquarters, is that live is something that they see as more scalable and more predictable, right? It's more of like a inputs and outputs where it's like, hey, if they get this amount of traffic, this is how many people should convert. And it's like way more steady, right? Whereas a video, you might post 90 videos in a month, and what's probably going to happen is like 75 of them make zero, 20 of them make a little bit, and then you have a couple that go crazy. And like, that's just what it is with videos. It has this like crazy variability, but with the lives, it seems to be way more predictable, right? Like, you're probably not going to go 10 lives in a row making zero, and then the 11th live, you just made like $15,000. Like,
right.
It
No.
seems to not really happen like that. Can you talk more about the like consistency? Because I know with live, there definitely is some up and down, but it seems, at least to me, to be much less variable than the video side of things.
I remember when I was making videos back in my day, when I made videos before I decided live is my thing. It was like, do 30 videos, right? And be consistent about doing 30 videos. I think similarly, when you're talking about doing lives, if you're going to go in on it, decide, okay, I'm going to do a month of lives, and I'm going to be consistent about doing it maybe 5 times a week, 7. If you can, do it every day, because that consistency is not only going to make a difference for you and getting used to going live, but it also tells TikTok, okay, she's serious about this. She's going to show up, and let's test it. Let's throw some more people her way. But that consistency makes a huge difference. I don't even think it matters specifically what time you go live. I do like to go live the same time every morning, but in the evening or the afternoon, that might fluctuate. But if TikTok knows I'm going to be live for, let's say, 5 hours at some point throughout the day, it will bring more people to me. And then you'll see. And really, initially, I always tell people, stop looking at the numbers, because people want this big number in their room. And I'll tell you what, Mike, I find that when I have fewer than 200 people in my room, I sell more than if I have 2,000 in my room. When I see 2,000, I'm like, oh gosh, I don't know. But I know when there's like 200 or somewhere between 80 to 200, I'm going to get regular sales the entire time.
Super interesting. I guess while we're on the topic of live, I don't want to get like too deep into the strategy, but I know you had a couple really good points on one of our first live calls that were like, hey, the first couple minutes when you're in the live, it's super important. Like, you got to get in there, you got to pin the stuff, you got to put everything up. If you would just shed a little bit of light on that, I think that would be helpful for all of the brands that we have listening, so they know, how to communicate with their creators, so they can start to educate some of their live creators as well.
Absolutely. And actually, can I also add, can we have a bit of a conversation around the fact that a live from the creators, from the brand's page, is so different than creators going live with their products?
Maybe let's talk about it, because okay. I would love to be enlightened on that subject.
Yeah. Awesome. So what some of the things that you want to make sure you do when you start a live? First thing you want to do is make sure you're pinning the product, that big, whatever the big product is, you're going to be spending time on, and ideally it's a hot item. You want that pinned the entire time, because that is how TikTok is going to know who to bring to you directly. Second thing is pointing out the discounts. Before I even say who I am or what I'm doing, I let people know there's a coupon, where to find the coupon, let them know what specials going on, if there's free shipping, whatever that might be, because when people come in, they want to know that tea immediately. So I start there, let them know I'll answer all their questions, but this is what they need to know. Then I'll introduce myself. And then I make a point of making sure that I'm educating them about the product, showing them why they might need the product, truly, and then showing them how to get the product. And I kind of go through that, always encouraging questions, and that's kind of the rhythm you want to go through your live. But truly, the first thing is make sure it's pinned. Make sure you tell people about the coupons, how to get the coupons if it's hard to get. What I find is people come through my room and they are relieved because they're so tired of going to lives where they're like, oh, get the coupon, and they don't know how to get the coupon. So then they're just frustrated. And so taking that time to show them is really valuable.
Yeah. And I think TikTok is still such a new purchasing experience that people don't understand. So you're not, like you said, you're not only selling the product, you are teaching them how to check out on TikTok almost. And you're right, like TikTok they're subsidizing a lot of the growth with these coupons and discounts and free shipping and flash deals. And so, yeah, you have to tell the consumer, like, hey, here's how you use the coupon. Here's how you can get the free shipping, whatever it might be. Would love to hear your breakdown on a live from an affiliate versus a live from the brand page.
Absolutely. So for a brand, you've got these two different strategies. And I think initially brands that I've worked with more directly, initially they love finding a creator who loves to talk about their product and will talk about and do a live, whether it's an exclusive live or just a live in general about their product. And that's, I think, the most scalable, easy to enter because you're not putting in any effort on your part, but it also gives the brand a chance to kind of figure out who are the creators that you do want to have representing you directly on your page. Now, when we talk about, I think the best way a brand can support a creator who's really going all in and sharing on from their own channel or their own page is to give them discount codes. That goes a long way. Exclusive discount codes, as well as giveaways, because you can give giveaways directly to a creator, and then they are able to set that giveaway and start it. TikTok chooses who wins. It's really beautiful that way. And then the person who wins gets a little congratulations, you won. Everyone else who doesn't win in that moment when the countdown comes gets a little, you didn't win, try again next time. The creator doesn't have to send it to them. It actually goes through the brand and it's sent automatically. People love those giveaways. And what I found is TikTok sends more people to your room while you're doing a giveaway. So that's a really valuable piece. If from a brand, I would encourage people, hey, when you're going to do that giveaway, please make sure that during that 15 minutes or the 5 minutes or whatever length of time, you're talking specifically about my product. Maybe not the one that's even given a giveaway. And the thing that's a giveaway doesn't have to be, like for example, let's say I'm focusing on the Lux JLab headphones. Maybe the giveaway is a pair of the minis or the pods or the tones. It does not have to be the same product, but the same brand. And then I would spend those 15 minutes talking about the Lux, because while I know TikTok's bringing in all these people because of the giveaway, that's when you want to really sell the product that's on the pin that you're trying to promote.
So real quick, how does that giveaway work, right? Is it like, hey, anyone who's in the live, one person's going to randomly be chosen at the end of this to win, and like you got to stay in here the whole time if you want it, and then that gets more people to stay in so you can sell them, and then after the giveaway's done, now it's like, oh, hey, if you didn't win it, you still got the coupon code. Am I thinking of that the right way?
You are, yes. So when you start, like when the creator starts the giveaway, a little box shows up and it has the countdown. It's on the left-hand side of the screen at the top. And when you tap on that, it'll tell you to enter the giveaway, comment, and you can choose what you want them to comment. But really, if they just press the button, it automatically populates the comment for them. But it does say on there, TikTok has a little like, you must be present at the time of the end of the giveaway to win. So that means that people are staying there for those 15 minutes or whatever time they came in because they want to win. That's why those 15 minutes are so crucial, because that's your time to pitch the heck out of whatever you're trying to sell, because people are dialed in there. And what I find is what I typically find when I do a giveaway is people are excited about the giveaway. They're excited about the giveaway. They might be shopping during those 15 minutes, but as soon as they find out they didn't win, then all of a sudden I see sell. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that it works really well that way.
And so when you're going live, you're working with a brand. Is that something that you find really helpful? If you got a giveaway day, you're like, okay, I'm making some money today.
Yes. If I'm doing an exclusive live and negotiating something like that where I'm getting paid to do live, I require giveaways.
Oh, nice.
Because I know that it will be beneficial for them and for me, especially because a lot of times it's a product that's not a hot product yet. And
Gotcha.
So I'm starting from scratch. And so with that, especially, I want to have some type of giveaway that brings people in and gets them excited.
Gotcha. And then I guess too, from a investment side, it's probably not that much to the brand. It's like the same as giving away a sample, you know? It's like,
Exactly.
Hey, we're going to throw away one free product in here in the hopes that she's going to sell 50 of these or whatever. So it seems like kind of a no-brainer on the brand side.
Exactly. And they can load that into different creators, how they choose. And then like a coupon code, like I mentioned, or some type like that also works really well that they can use exclusively for the live. The reason you want it to be exclusive to the live is because then people are more drawn to come in and share and invite people to come in to get that discount.
Something that you mentioned in there, a topic that I want to talk about a little bit now, is like if a brand goes to you and they want to pay you to do lives for them, this is a model that we're seeing it come up a ton, right? We've kind of built a whole platform around this where brands can go in, they can hire creators on a monthly retainer, both on the video side and on the live side of things. I get these questions all the time around like, hey, if I'm hiring this creator to make me 15 videos a month, or like, you know, do a live every day, isn't their audience going to be super annoyed by that? Like, aren't they like kind of like almost like tarnishing their audience? And I think where a lot of brands get this hold up is they're almost thinking about TikTok Shop like Instagram influencers, right? Where this is like the audience is like a little bit less important, and it's more actually about like selling the products, and the following's less important. It's all about the For You page. How do you think about that, right? Where it's like a brand, they're going to pay you to go live every day for a month, right? A lot of these brands are like, oh, she's probably not going to like that. Her audience isn't going to like that. How do you think about those things?
That's funny because that's exactly what a brand did, was hire me every day to go live last month. For the first 2 weeks, I did it on my page, and then we transitioned to their page because they were trying to build their page. And so now I still go live twice a week on their page, which we can talk about that in a bit. But at first I was excited. Like I had that, wait a moment, I've had these followers that come into my live all the time. How are they going to feel about this? But I also had to remember I'm in it to make money too. So there's that, right? What I find is you have that base core of people who are always going to come, and they're entertained and they enjoy watching you, whether they shop or not. And they're great because they're the people who are sharing out your live. They're liking the live, but you have all these people who are coming through the room all the time. And those people are people that may never follow me, right? That are coming in for the product specifically. They're getting the information they want. They're able to purchase it, maybe put it in their cart and move on. And so I would not worry about that as well at all, because in my mind, at least for me, my brand is I'm a live shop host. So people are coming to me because they get entertained and they enjoy themselves and they get to find great deals. But I'm not worried so much about, okay, is she always talking about this product? Because please, if you're a creator, make sure you love the product and you're talking about it every day. I will say that. But I wouldn't worry about that, because really it actually is beneficial for the creator. I'll tell you, since I've started doing that, my follows have gone up because I'm talking about the same thing. And then you have people who come back who got it and they want to share their testimonials about it. So it actually is beneficial to be talking about the same thing over and over again every day.
You said something in there. My brand is that I'm a live shop host, which I thought is really interesting. And a lot of brands don't really see it that way, right? Like most of the creators that we have that are in our, you know, academy, our accelerator on the platform, they are what I call TikTok shop creators. Like that is their brand, making videos about products. And it's less of the, hey, you know, I have 500,000 followers and, you know, I talk about these certain things. Like it's almost like the Instagram follower world where TikTok, we see the best performing creators. Oftentimes they're the ones with like 6,000 followers, right? It's all about hitting the For You page and getting the video that has 5 million views, and 99% of those people have never seen you before and like they don't know who you are. But here's the key. Brands think that it's all about like the trust with the creator, which like, yes, I think that's important, but to the point of like, hey, the video that gets 5 million views and it sells a ton and I've never seen this creator before, what's happening on TikTok is it's like a product-based retargeting. So maybe my video goes viral, 5 million views. Half the people that saw that, guess what? They saw 4 other people before me talking about the same product. So now like, I don't really need to trust Mike because like I've seen 15 other people say the same thing and now they're running a flash deal and like, okay, he's the guy that got me over the edge, right? It's less of the Instagram world where it's like, oh, I've followed this guy for 2 years. I see his stories every day, right? And like, yeah, I think it's just a different way to think about it.
It is. And you know, what's interesting about what you said, it's exactly that. And when you come into someone's room, you do want to be able to trust them, obviously. But what I find is I have so many people come through my room saying, thank you so much. You finally explained it. Or now I finally know why I need it. And so the credibility is really the information the person's giving, as opposed to, do I know Roxanne? I'd never seen her in my life before.
Gotcha. Yeah, I completely agree. Rox, I got a ton of other topics, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to call this one here today. That's it, guys. That's the show.